Good morning, April 21st, 2021, 21. About -2 as I start off here. A little earlier today because my wife, Margaret Ann, was moving a little earlier. That makes me move a little earlier. So I'm going to the grocery store is where I'm going. So I'm just going to take a roundabout way to get there. Because I could just go straight up Retallick here. But I'm actually going to zigzag a bit. We'll start up Retallick. Beautiful morning. As a load of furniture goes by. So I had my... first of all, I should say happy birthday to Queen Elizabeth II. 95 years old today. Not a happy birthday for her, I'm sure. But I always remember her fondly from when she was here in 2005. I stood in the rain with Alice, who had not turned 4. She would have been turning 4 that couple of months later. And Alice had flowers, and the Queen took the flowers from Alice. Got a great picture of the Queen, very close, which I just put on my Facebook page, actually. We'll go along Connaught Crescent here this time. So happy birthday to her. I had my presentation for the library last night on shaping worlds, writing fantasy, which went very well apparently. People seem to enjoy it. Had about, I don't know, maybe 20 people there or something. Had some interesting questions at the end of it. And I just blathered on. Have no trouble talking. My dad always wanted me to be a preacher. I probably could have done that without too much difficulty. I always point out this pair of houses over here. The ultra modern one, and then the little tiny older one in its shadow, literally, and painted bright blue or dark blue. I think they're an interesting pair of houses. Now that will have confused the gimbal. Have my hat and gloves. Probably take the hat off pretty quick. If you happen to be watching live on Facebook or YouTube, please leave a note. This is College Avenue. Today I've got a lot of nonfiction work to do, and also flipped the script. The online show that Regina Lyric Musical Theatre is doing, the gender-swapped Broadway songs show that I mentioned. The videos are due today, so we got some videoing to do today. We were even given a green screen, which we're going to do ours in front of, so that when they edit it, they can put whatever backgrounds they want behind us. In my case, it's really necessary because I'm doing a quartet, and I'm doing all 4 parts of the quartet to sing each one separately, and they're going to blend it together. I won't tell you what the quartet is yet. I have. So you'd have to go back a few walks to find it. It's supposed to be kind of a surprise, so. Ow. Just kicked a rock I didn't see. Well, that kind of hurt. More than I thought to begin with. But it won't stop me. Okay, we'll zig up this way. So one danger of this, you don't watch your feet as much when you're doing this, or I would have seen that rock and gone around it. Instead, I kicked it. And just wearing runners, so not a lot of protection on my toe. So now I have a stub toe, more or less. Not quite as painful as a stubbed toe, but I kicked it pretty hard. Oh well. I don't know if I'll go by it. I probably won't, but there was a fire up on Victoria Avenue last night. House fire. Speaking of pretty blue houses, there's another one. Really stands out with the more staid neighbors. Well, heading to work still because it's still before 8 o'clock. Earlier than I usually come out, as I said. Probably why nobody has noticed I'm here yet, or at least nobody's left a note. Although, yesterday, I only had one note on Facebook, on YouTube. And when I looked at the statistics, there were, 4 or 5 people that actually watched at least part of yesterday's walk while it was live. And then I get more with the replay, of course, the recording. All right, we'll cross here, keep zigging to my left. I'll take off my hat already. My toes pretty much quit hurting, so it wasn't a serious kick at the rock. So probably be a shorter walk than some. I really don't know. I never know when I start. I usually turn out about an hour, but so one thing, this gimbal will make it a bit easier to do those recordings for Flip the Script because it actually has the screw on the bottom. Squirrel, where'd he go? He's staying out of sight behind the tree, so I can't show him to you. I just saw his fluffy tail. Because you can screw the base into a proper camera tripod, which I have. In fact, the tripod is one I bought when I was at the Weyburn Review. I have a clear memory of being out in the middle of the night taking pictures of Christmas decorations, black and white pictures of Christmas decorations around Weyburn. And nobody ever called the police. There's a guy out here taking pictures of our house. Most people in Weyburn would have recognized me as the newspaper guy, one of the newspaper guys at the time. Listen to the birds. Holy Rosary School there coming up, and the playground I've walked by before, and you can see the cathedral spires just past that. I'll come back by those probably when I'm coming back toward the grocery store, which is off to my left, my right from here, but that's not where I'm headed straight away. I'll keep going this way. Left turn for another zig or zag. See, there's still some snow from where it was piled up during plowing. May not look like snow, but that's what those big lumps are. And every now and then still you'll find, like right here in the shade of this fence, a last remnant hanging on. Hope it's the last remnant. The way this month has been going, it could snow again any day. All right, now we'll go up another block, or half block, actually, the way it works here. There's the cathedral over there. Kind of see the whole thing from here. Another zig or zag. Don't have much to say this morning. What did I talk about last night? Well, called world shaping, or shapers of worlds, because, I've been getting a lot out of that phrase. My new series is called World Shapers, current series with Daw, which is up to book 3, The Moonlit World. And as it came out, I started the podcast, which I deliberately called World Shapers because it tied into the new book series. And then when I kickstarted the first anthology last year, I called it Shapers of Worlds. And of course, the second one is funded, the Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. And then if I do a nonfiction book, which I thought of, collecting some of the stuff people have said in those interviews about writing specifically, I'll probably call it Shaping Worlds. So I'm getting a lot out of that expression, including presentations like the one last night. So I talked about, finding ideas and then how you develop them through a process of questioning, self-interrogation, and things like research and magic systems and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. I don't know if they recorded it or not. I don't think they did. Now we're on 13th. Also to the other side and zig up Elphinstone. Or maybe I'll go all the way down 13th and come back on Victoria. Maybe that's the way to do it. I've walked all the way along 13th once before. If I zig here, I'll just end up on Victoria a little sooner than I anticipated. So. Coffee shop over here, the Happy High, is one that my daughter likes a lot. Go past this new that's not the best choice walking wise. Didn't realize there was a cement truck in the way. To go around it. They're blocking the sidewalk pretty thoroughly. Back on the sidewalk, and then over there, I didn't point it out, but there's Connaught School, which I've walked by many times before. I'll just go all the way down here and come back on the other side of the part of Victoria I walked along a few days ago, pointing the other direction. So it'll be completely different, yet similar. For anybody who's, watched every single one of these, I pity you, but I suppose it's possible. So far, nobody has indicated they're watching this morning, so I could be really mumbling to myself today as I walk along. Not a very scenic walk, I'm afraid, right along here, not especially with the trees not having budded out yet. You watch the cars go by. McTavish Street. Look down the streets as we go by them, I guess. There's McTavish with the Mosaic Stadium down there at the end. Quite a distance away. It's very big, but it's there. Not a huge distance. I will walk down there one of these days. Walk around Mosaic Stadium. Home of the Sasktchewan Roughriders of the Canadian Football League. Go Riders. If you ever go again, I don't know what's going to be left when this is all finally over. It often feels like the media doesn't want it to be over. They like lockdowns and terrorizing people. Some politicians seem to like that too. There's some new houses over there. Princess Road Street, I should say. I walk all the way down to the four-way stop down here. Four-way stop I know well because when I used to drive Alice to school at Luther College High School, we'd always go by this four-way stop, not usually coming from this direction. We'd come up along that road I've walked down many times alongside the park. So for 4 years, did that. And always when you're in school, it seems like forever. And then all of a sudden it seems like it was no time at all. When you're a parent, even more so, like, oh, she's in elementary school. That'll be 8 years. That's forever. Next thing you know, she's graduating grade 8. Well, there's 4 years of high school. That's forever. And then just like that, 4 years of high school is over. And I'm not getting older at all. It's amazing, really. Sure, I have not changed an iota from when I was 20, which is the me in my head. I mentioned before, my mom used to talk about, in her head, she was this barefoot farm girl in Missouri. Didn't wear shoes in the summer, running around, loved to run. And later in life, not that much later, was a young woman, she had rheumatoid arthritis, so she wasn't able to run by any means. So I always had a hard time understanding that when I was a kid. I don't anymore. Although, in my head, I'll never be a barefoot girl in Missouri who'd like to run. I never liked to run. Goes with the flat feet, I think. King's Corner Church of God over here. Never been in that building. I've driven by it so many times. Never been in. The stoplight down there is the... Oh, somebody says hello. Hello, Noella. Yeah, I should. I just keep forgetting to look into it. I mean, I'm doing the walking anyway, so this is the Million Steps for the Arts. Yeah, I totally should. I've done a lot of steps since I started doing this every day. Not counting them though. Normally I would use the counter on the phone, but I'm not sure if it would register. I should try it and turn it on. Probably the gimbal doesn't smooth it out so much it wouldn't recognize my steps. But I'm not 100% sure. All right, here's the aforementioned four-way stop. Loop around to the right, head back along Victoria. That used to be Martin's School of Dance over there in an old church before those two houses were built. My daughter danced for many, many years, not at Martin, at Class Act. But we saw the Martin dancers in competitions and things from time to time. That was a whole world I knew nothing about until I turned into a dance dad, and then all of a sudden it was just, oh, of course, we're going to dance competition. We could go over to Medicine Hat for a dance competition once. Places like that. Kind of miss it. Well, parts of it. You can see some amazing dance, but while you're waiting for your little girl to go on, you see a lot of other little girls, and you know, when they're very little, they have the cuteness going for them, but the dance isn't exactly the most thrilling thing. But with the more senior dancers, there can be some quite amazing performances, especially if you're me. I don't dance, don't ask me. I can't dance, don't ask me. So I walked along this corner, around this corner going the other way a few days ago. Oh, that fence has a problem. And past the lawn bowling club, which will be on the other side of the street this time if I stay on this side of the street. Over there is the blue van and the underpass, railroad underpass. When I got my vaccine, I was in a very long lineup that started back here, went all the way around there, then went into the fairgrounds on the other side, and I was in my car for about 5 hours that day waiting for my shot. Fortunately, I brought my computer with me and actually got some writing done, so it wasn't too bad. In fact, I think I'm more effective out of the house. I've been thinking I should take my computer in the car and go and sit and write in the car just to get me away from the house, since I can't go to a coffee shop or a pub or anything like that. So this is the west end of Victoria Avenue, which runs all the way through town. And at the other end, it actually joins Trans-Canada Highway. If you were heading to Winnipeg, straight ahead from here, basically. If I kept walking, I'd get there. That would be a very long live stream, and I don't think my battery would hold up. Among other things that wouldn't hold up. Nice new sidewalk here. There's a police car sitting over there. I wonder why. Sort of in the grass over there. I wonder what that's all about. It's not grass, I guess. It's some sort of gravel lot. train going over there. You can see it on the other side over there. That means that there's people backed up at the moment on Elphinstone waiting for that to go by, because there's not an underpass there. And of course, again, over there is Mosaic Stadium, past the trees and past the train. Our big stadium. Grey Cup was supposed to be there last year. It wasn't. Long straight sidewalk. Again, there's the Lawn Bowling Club that I walked by before. And again, Mosaic Stadium in the distance. Maybe this yesterday morning's snow, a little bit of snow, is the last we're going to get. That'd be nice. No guarantees, as I've mentioned before. I can certainly remember a year when there was a big snowstorm on Victoria Day weekend, which is third weekend in May, so we're not out of the snow woods yet. Nothing sticks at this time of year. That last big one stuck around for 3 or 4 days before it melted. Last night's little... Now here's a question. I used the word skiff, a skiff of snow. And my brother said I might have to explain that. And I don't think that's an odd expression at all. I think everybody should know that expression. So, I don't know. I guess I should look it up and see if it's regional or British. And I picked it up in a British children's book. That's entirely possible. I mean, a skiff is also a type of small watercraft, of course. I did read a lot of books about sailing, but I don't think that's where my use of skiff of snow came from. Well, we're there again. Mosaic Stadium with a little more open land between us. It's below grade, so a great many of the seats are actually below, it's hard to say sea level. That would be a very long way down, since I think we're at about 1,100 feet. Grade, that's the word I want, below grade. Another mini library. Passed quite a few of those on my perambulations. I've never put one of my books in them or taken a book out, but I do see quite a few of them. Stoplight up there will be Elphinstone again, and I will make my way to Safeway. As you can see, very long straight road. Sidewalk goes all the way to the vanishing point down there. Or so it appears from here. Yeah, how long has this been so far? Only half an hour, so I might stretch it out a bit. Instead of turning straight down toward Safeway, I'll go all the way down Victoria here to almost Albert, and then come back to Safeway, which I will be stopping at today. Other than Noella, nobody has said hi, so I may be alone. Well, I'm always alone. just virtually, I sometimes have people along for the walk. If you're one of them and want to leave me a note so I know you're there, it's always fun. Oh, we might catch the light if I'm lucky. I don't know how long it is going this way. Not very. No, I won't catch it. Already counting down. Unless nobody's coming, then I'll take my chances. Yeah, there's a car coming from the right, so... Oh, I'll wait. Oh, is there a button? There is a button. You can see the train down there. People lined up as it goes by. I think I can risk it now. There goes the engine, so they'll be moving on momentarily. I'm down Victoria. I'm not sure where this house fire was. I don't smell smoke. It's supposed to be on Victoria somewhere. I assumed it was, well, yeah, they said Cathedral on Victoria. I should put it along here somewhere. I'm gonna take off my gloves. I'd even unzip my coat before long. Victoria's very wide and has that boulevard down the middle. Or it is a boulevard, has a divider down the middle, I guess is what I should say. Very pretty when the leaves are out, which shouldn't be too much longer. And a lot of old houses along here, as you can see peripherally. Some nice ones, some ordinary ones. On my historic walks of Regina Moose Jaw tour, there's a few I pointed out along here. I can't remember what they were, except for the brick one. There's one that was built after the cyclone and is basically built like a skyscraper with a steel frame and brick and concrete. Some row houses over here, that's not very common in Regina. Walked by them coming the other direction. That's this row houses are a little unusual in Regina. The sun is quite dramatic at this time of the day, quite low still, so you get the dramatic shadows. We're walking into it. A nice old one here on the corner. Oh, it's not a corner. Just felt like it should be a corner. It's not a corner. I don't know where this fire was. Thought it was along here somewhere, but I haven't seen any signs of it. I like that one. I always like that half-timbered look you see over there. I don't know what the honk was for. Oh, there's the one I was talking about coming up on the left on the other side. The third one in there, that's the one I was talking about that's made of brick and concrete and has an iron frame construction like a skyscraper would. It's probably apartments now. I don't remember who built it, but it was basically as a response to the tornado in 1912. They wanted a house that no tornado was going to knock down. Tornadoes are pretty strong, so I don't know. You can be sure of that or not, but anyway, there it is. Very cool house. And I should know who built it, but it's not in my head. It's in my book, but it's not in my head. Houses tend to get bigger as you get closer to downtown. It's Robinson, so if I went straight to Safeway, I would turn down here and watch how long have I been walking? I think I'll go on down Victoria and then come back just to add a little more length. Still be one of my shorter walks today. Don't seem to have a lot of people watching live anyway, since I've only had the one comment. Big one. It's probably an office or something now. Victoria Hall. So I'm not sure what that's used for. Group accommodations of some sort. And we'll keep going. Almost down to Albert now. Downtown, where I walked yesterday, to east, we're walking. I guess I'll go all the way to Albert, walk down Albert to 13th, and then head down 13th. I haven't walked down this side of this part of Albert upcoming, so it's sort of new. Seems like I'm showing more sidewalk than building. I've obviously changed the way I'm holding my hand. That's all better. The Terra head office over here used to be Sasktchewan Wheat Pool. Agricultural shipping, collecting and shipping of grain, basically. Credit union building on the other side. Yeah, I'll go down to Albert. This block is boring on Angus anyway because there's a big parking lot on both sides. Parking lots. In the shade. Good time to leave a comment. I could see it now. Terra. And of course, this building was an apartment building. I mean, a department store, not apartment building, originally over here. And has these interesting little reliefs as the decoration. Decorated up above too. Even a gargoyle there on the corner. Can't see it well, but that's, you can see the silhouette up there. Here we go. The C.W. Sherwood building, constructed in 1913 as a department store for the C.W. Sherwood Company, ceased operations in 1916, so short-lived. Then it's been various things, even a military supply depot. And Saskatchewan Wheat Pool bought it in 1927. So that's how long it's been connected with what's now Viterra. Wasn't an apartment store very long. Built in the boom years, failed in the bust. One of the early boom busts periods here. More of those decorations along here. At least the building's still here. Regina was supposed to be a huge city, and this would have been right downtown, and there'd be major buildings all around it, and we never got there. We're about 220,000 tops, I think, at the moment. There's Credit Union Central over there. Not even the biggest city in Saskatchewan. Saskatoon is more people than Regina. But the whole province only has a bit over 1 million, and it's the size of Texas. So slightly smaller than Texas. So we are a sparsely populated place. And most of that population is close to the US border relatively. So the north, as with most of Canada, is very sparsely populated. There's the fire hall over there. Walked by that yesterday, I think. This is the Cathedral Free House I'm walking by now. Well, I don't call it that anymore, but good beer. And then Viet Thai here is a place where we often get takeout. They've been there forever. And we've eaten in there too, but at the moment I think they're just to take out again. All right, so this is 13th. We'll stay on this side because I've walked down the other side before. You can see Safeway up there. That will be my end point today. Artesian there, I mentioned before, is the former church, but it's now a performance space. And I performed in there, and when Golden Apple Theatre that I was on the board of was active, that's what we used for most of our shows, was professional theater. And I had a book launch in the basement. They have a really nice lounge in the basement. So I launched one of my books there and sang. I usually sing at my book launches just to be different. Actually, if you're on my YouTube channel, you can see that there's a portrait framed video of me singing in a very unusual way from 9. It's actually a women's song. So in a way, that was a flip the script bit right there. Lots of small shops along here. Orthopedics, shoe clinic, traditions, handcraft gallery. Christian bookstore on the left, New Age bookstore on the right. Paper umbrella, paper supplies, stationery, cool stuff that goes along with that. Tea shop, cup of tea. So yeah, we're here. You have a warehouse, books, and on the other side you have the Christian bookstore. So far there have been no lightning bolts or anything else from one side to the next. I will cross here because I have a pedestrian crosswalk and nobody's coming anyway. It's the Christian bookstore there. The blue one over there is the new liquor store they're building, which will be nice. Have something that close to our house. Why, we've sometimes had to drive 5 minutes to get to a liquor store. So looking forward to it when it opens. See what they offer. I'll just go over here and stop on the Safeway corner. Well, only one comment today. So I don't know if anybody else was watching any of this live or not, but if you were, thanks for coming along on my morning perambulation, as I said. Good word. This will be a little shorter than some, but 46 minutes, that's reasonable. And I'll just get past this guy. And we'll stop on this corner over here. So that I can go into Safeway, where I'm pretty sure they don't want me recording. So, still snow here. They cleared off the side, off the parking lot. Right then. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow.